Zoom phone, but we're having a technical problem, so we can't hear him, but he can hear us.
I can hear him through.
You can hear him through that. So Rich, you're gonna have to speak up loudly, or maybe we can put your mic on your speaker, computer speaker. We'll figure that out.
Okay.
But thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being on there by phone. And just so we can paint the scene for you, we have a mob here. We've got a giant crowd of people, more than I've ever seen, except when the Speedway wins. So welcome everybody out there tonight. Thank you for joining us. We do have a very full agenda, so we're going to get right to it. First, I would ask that you all please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. The next order of business is approval of minutes. These are minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting previously dated December 2nd, 2025. Does anyone have any edits or questions, comments for the clerk? If not, Chair would like a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting dated December 2nd, 2025.
So,
Moved by Trustee Schaller. Do I have a second?
second.
Second by Trustee Schammelser. Thank you. Would the clerk please take the roll?
Trustee Rayner?
Yes.
Trustee Hayes?
Yes.
Trustee Schaller?
Yes.
Trustee Schammelser?
Yes.
And Trustee Burke?
Yes, thank you very much. President's remarks, a couple things I'll just start out with. One is a little bragging. On January 2nd, I became a grandfather for the second time. Had a little girl who decided to come 6 weeks early, so she weighs in at a whopping 4 pounds. I told my daughter that she caught a smallmouth bass bigger than that before. In fact, she said, "Dad, you're not going to believe this, but my personal best smallmouth bass is 20 inches and 4.5 pounds. And our granddaughter is 18 inches and 4.2 pounds. So I said, your bass is still your personal best. So Mom and baby are doing great. It's really a public service announcement because it was unplanned. They're in Good Shepherd Hospital. That's not where they had plans. And they have had nothing but amazing and great things to say about everyone at Good Shepherd Hospital. I know you've been affiliated with them. We all have experiences with them. But they have glowing reviews about every single person who works there. It makes me very proud to know, we know we have a great amenity there, but for them to go there, and they are in fact so enthralled that her husband and my son-in-law has never spent much time in this area, and they have been looking for a home, and came home the other day and said, we're going to start looking around the Barrington area to live, because this area is so cool. So, could be North Barrington, could be Lake Barrington, but I was shocked when they said that, because that was the last place I thought they'd want to be, is close to me. So, it's all good. Everybody's great. So we have a real treat for you tonight under the President's remarks. I have invited Rebecca Snyder from Lake County Forest Preserve and Carol Hogan and Westwood from the Grassy Lake Forest Preserve Restoration Group to be with us tonight by way of a little bit of introduction. And you guys can come on up if you would like, please, to the podium. I met Carol and Wes, oh my gosh, when I first moved into the neighborhood not too long. I live right on the Grassy Lake Forest Preserve Trail. And so Gracie the Black Lab and I used to take endless walks on the Forest Preserve Trail. And all of a sudden we noticed this strange behavior going on out there where these people were cutting down all these shrubs and trees and burning them in giant piles, and we had no idea. So Gracie went over to investigate and learned that this work was taking place with a group of volunteers that were being led by Carol and Wes, who were doing the eradication of all the invasive species, primarily the buckthorn. And so those of you who have lived in this area for any period of time will appreciate and understand the incredible transformation that Grassy Lake Forest Preserve has taken over the last, how many years? 13? 15 years, sorry. And by two residents here of Lake Barrington. So I felt her, through Wes and through Carol, I wanted her to speak a little bit about some of the initiatives and some of the things that we're trying to do, particularly with the endowment fund and other things, to ensure that these forest preserves are well cared for, because they're a cherished amenity for us in our community. As you know, we're the open space people. We have more open space, usable open space with Friar Farm and all the other stuff. We have Citizens for Conservation that we partner with that own many parcels in our town. So we have a tremendous amount of open space. That's what we're known for. We're an oasis of gracious countryside living. You can't be that if you don't have these open spaces. So we're just thrilled. We're proud of the work that you guys have done, and we're proud to be partners with the Forest Preserve. So I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to ask Wes and or Carol first to introduce yourself to everybody, and make sure your microphone is on. The little red light's on. It should be down below. Is it where it says talk?
That long bar.
The long bar.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, great. I guess I'm going to do most of the talking, at least in the beginning. The restoration that we've done at Grassy Lake almost didn't happen. The reason it happened was that one Sunday afternoon, we went for a walk on the trail. Carol was carrying her bucket of native seed as usual, and a ranger came up. How many rangers do you see out there? Not many. Anyway, she said, "What are you doing, Lee?" And she said, "I'm not sure about this." She said, "You're going to hear from us." And sure enough, we heard from him very soon. Come in and meet with us, okay? Well, it turns out they asked us if we knew what we were doing. We explained we had 15 years of experience doing this. And so we convinced them that we knew what we were doing. So then they said, "Hey, why don't you become volunteer stewards of Grassy Lake?" Well, what does that mean? Okay. Well, what are your plans for Grassy Lake? Well, we don't have any. We don't have any money. Okay? But go out there and do what you can. See if you can roust up some volunteers and start. So 15 years ago next month, we walked across the street from our home in Lake Barrington Shores with a chainsaw, pair of loppers, and a couple bottles of herbicide, and went to work. And we weren't rolling for very long, because pretty soon a neighbor came over and said, "I want to help." And then people that we knew from CFC came out and said, "Could we join you?" And the first thing you know, we were working almost every day of the week. And most of our volunteers were working 3 or 4 days a week. Now, volunteer stewards usually have 1 or 2 work days a month. Okay, we were having 3 or 4 a week. And the result was, the Forest Preserve had no trouble keeping up with us. And you've blown our budget. You know, what did you do with all this herbicide? Where do these brush piles come from? So anyway, we were having a good time. We found a half a dozen of the best volunteers we've ever seen. They were enthusiastic, they knew what they were doing, we worked safely, and things really fell into place. And as we started getting rid of the buckthorn, we discovered there was a lot of native plants still there that were just hidden away in the buckthorn. And included some rare orchids, native orchids, and things like that. And everywhere we went, we struck gold. And a lot of the gold we struck was the yellow blooms. One of the pictures on the photographer's website, Barrington Area Photographers, shows our sedge meadow ablaze in yellow. Well, not only is it in that site, but it's on your iPhone. If you go to maps and satellite view, there you can see this from 100 miles up in space. We got a picture of this bloom was so intense. So it's just been a wonderful experience for us, and we've discovered so many neat things. We've had commendations from your board. We appreciate that. We've had good support, mostly from the neighbors. A few have been skeptical, but I think if we educate them, we're going to be okay. So anyway, this has kind of culminated just during the last year. The county said we've got about 25 people out, knowledgeable people, and said we want an inventory of all I think I can find a bumblebee here we're looking for. And sure enough, the endangered rusty patched bumblebee was there, not just one or two, but half a dozen. The Forest Preserve got excited. They sent their only naturalist out to do her own study. She said, my God, I found half a dozen. Okay, so here we are, we're really on the map. I've been cataloging a lot of the plants on an app called iNaturalist, and I'm getting all kinds of people saying, yeah, that's right, that's a whatever. So we're getting confirmation there, and people are really caring. Anyway, now that, unfortunately, when COVID came along, we had to stop work temporarily. And by the time COVID was over, our volunteers were mostly gone. So we had to try to recruit new volunteers, but we haven't been able to establish the same kind of camaraderie and status that we had before. And we've asked the Forest Preserve to try to find new stewards to replace us. I'm 85 years old. My doctor tells me I can't do this forever. And that's just not right, but that's the way. So anyway, the county has agreed, when I said the county, the Forest Preserve District, has agreed to help us out using some of their resources and so forth, because they can do, in many cases, a machine in a day what takes us a month to do. Right now, we're working on the area on the far west edge on Miller Road. And we're moving almost over to the end, that pointed end there, where the entrance to your subdivision is. We hope to finish that probably not this year, but we should finish it by next winter. But we're working now, leaving a little buffer so that some of the neighbors won't be too concerned. Hopefully, they're concerned about property values. Really, property values are only going to go up. It is so beautiful in there. I invite you to come out. In any case, if you get a chance, anytime, we're out there, give us a call. We'll give you a tour. We'll answer your questions. We'll do whatever we can to show what we've done and address any concerns that you might have, if any. Okay? And with that, I'll turn it over to Rebecca.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wes.
Hi, everybody. I appreciate the chance to spend just a couple more minutes building on what Wes and Carol, well, what Wes described and what Wes and Carol have done. We have that story repeated a dozen times in the Forest Preserves, but nobody is a bigger rock star than these two. And I'm, as you said, multiple times a week for 15 years. I've been with the district just about 14 years. So really, like all of you, if you lived in this community a long time, I've seen year to year, season by season, how much has changed. And so I just want to shift and say that investment of their blood, sweat, and tears and the volunteers that help them, that is an incredibly valuable gift to the Forest Preserve. And if that's all anybody does is volunteer, we appreciate that. What we're trying to do with our endowment campaign is to give the opportunity for those who wish to invest funds in the long-term care of a site like Grassy Lake. So very quickly, I've been involved with the Preservation Foundation, which is the charitable partner of the district since I got to the district in 2012. Over the years, we've grown that to raising somewhere between $4 and $8 million a year, depending on what the needs are of the district. And it's really important that donor dollars go to help the Forest Preserves do more or do it faster. And so Carol and Wes, with their gift of time for 15 years, has fallen into that category of do something faster, do the work faster than we could on our own. And what we're doing right now with Grassy Lake specifically is we're trying to underwrite that investment. So through the Preservation Foundation, which is a 501c3 charity, we now have a permanent endowment established for the benefit of the Forest Preserves. So the foundation, being an independent body, doesn't do any programs, it doesn't even employ staff. All it does is exist to support the Forest Preserves. And in this very particular way, the Preservation Foundation and donors to the foundation, including Wes and Carol and other volunteers, yes, they give up their time and their money, are making contributions, and sometimes it's $5, but so far we've also, at other endowments, received more than $1 million to fund create a permanent funding source. Now, that permanent funding source at Grassy Lake, just to give you the numbers, 687 acres right now. Once Carol and Wes have made their investment, once we have invested capital dollars to restore that site, there is a bill that goes on forever. And the reason for that is because as much as we love living within 10 minutes of the forest preserves, and the residents of Lake County love that, that's what makes them more vulnerable to development pressures and climate change. So a preserve of Grassy Lake at 687 acres is just a bit larger than our average size. Our average size is a 500-acre preserve. It makes those sites more vulnerable to those pressures of development, so that once they've done their work, if we stop and we don't go back and keep retreating and burning and reinstalling seed, it will just go back to the wheat bed that it was before. We're not going to let that happen. We have raised about $350,000 so far for a permanent endowment just for Grassy Lake Forest Preserve. We need to be at about 1.3 million, so we have just under $1 million to go, and that's why it's so great for you to hear me out. And the thing to know about that endowment and that goal of 1.3 million is it is maintained and cared for by the foundation and overseen by the foundation board. It's managed with Wind Trust. We all probably know Wind Trust. And that is a permanent new revenue source just for Grassy Lake Forest Preserve. So 10 years from now, 15 years from now, when the buckthorn is coming back, because it will, we have the money. We aren't relying solely on Carol and Wes or the volunteers behind them. We have the money to go in and do that retreatment, and it can't be taken away. It can't be used for another purpose. So I do have materials for that. If you welcome it, I'm just going to leave them. This describes our general endowment and exactly what it does and does not do. And then within that, we have, I think, 15 separate endowments established already for different preserves, including Grassy Lake. All told, our goal is $20 million by the end of 2027, and we are at $13 million. So just 7 to go. So believe it or not, lots of people have given. We've had about 1,500 gifts and about 1,100 donors giving to this campaign over the past 5 years. So I'm really confident, but opportunities like this really help us get the word out, so thank you. Is that good?
That's great, thank you. Please leave those with us, and we'll pass those around to the staff and the board. Thank you very much. As is customary, we typically go around the dais and at least let our trustees comment or ask questions of the group, so I think I'll start Trustee Schallmoser.
I guess I'd say thank you, and both of you, all three of you, is one of the reasons why we have lived in such a great community, and it makes it priceless, so thank you for all your effort.
Trustee Gray.
So I moved to LBS coming up on 3 years ago, and every day would come out the Miller Road exit and go, who are all these people over there? And I think it was on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day this year, there were all these cars, and I was wondering if there was some sort of celebration or maybe offering, I don't know. But now I know it was you guys, and thank you, because it is beautiful over there. And I feel so blessed to be able to go over there and walk around, and you're appreciated, and everything you have done is so appreciated over the years. So thank you.
Trustee Schall.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I've lived out here 34 years, so I can recall what that area looked like 15 years ago before you touched it at all. And there's a dramatic difference between what it looked like then and what it looks like today. And so much of that is due to the two of you. Because as Brenda has pointed out, I think anytime you drive down Miller Road, there's some vehicle over there, some people over there, and it's usually you too, that are back there doing buckthorn printing and everything that's needed to be done. Ongoing, I guess, my question is, as we do ongoing, buckthorn will return, so you even though you think you're rid of it,
Yeah.
it's still going to come back?
Yeah. There are certainly other invasive species, but I don't think any are as insidious as buckthorn. It's not just hard to remove and cut it down. You have to retreat it for 3 years in a row, really, to have any success. And then part of looking at the district overall, we have 67 now. We now have 67 separate preserves in Lake County and far more than 450 miles of neighbors. Now, most of them are amazing and happy to be neighbors of the forest preserves, but all it takes is 10% who don't want to cut that buckthorn down. And then you have a permanent seed source, let alone, areas that are not exactly neighboring the forest preserve. So this is true for all natural areas. The fight against invasive plant species are our #1 threat to the natural areas of Lake County, for sure. And that's just a never-ending fight, because the other thing is 30 years from now, who knows what the new invasive plant will be.
Is another invasive plant just a question, these ferns or the plumes that you see?
Phragmites.
Phragmites.
Yeah,
If it's really pretty, it might
And
be.
the
it's
teasel.
pretty, but it's,
And the teasel too, it's the cactus
Yeah.
looking.
A new one, I think it was 8 years ago, the calorie pear was deemed invasive.
Yeah, the
15 years ago, we were riding pear, calorie pear, we were putting it in our own headquarters in Libertyville. We don't do that anymore.
yeah. No, it's nice to have open space, but it's nice to have open space that's usable, you can walk through it, you've done, thank you very, very much for everything that you've done.
Thank you.
Not only there, but you've also done a lot of work within our own forest preserve helping
Yes.
us. Yeah, so it's 35 additional acres of work, so, that we take care of, but they take care of. So thank you for everything, appreciate it.
Thank you. Trustee Hayes, would you like to comment or have any questions?
Yeah, I'll be brief, but in case I how much I appreciate what you've done as in the village since 2018, but I am a frequent user of the trail center. I ride my bike, and I can tell you, it almost looks like you're in Africa somewhere in the middle of summer. It's beautiful. So all your sweat and tears as you do the work voluntarily is amazing. I really appreciate this fund being established. It assures that everybody else can enjoy it in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. And yeah, just to finish up, thank you for being here tonight. Thanks for telling your story. You probably, I don't think you can appreciate a person who might go look at it for the first time will see its beauty, but it can't be appreciated the same way of knowing what it looked like before you started. And what's kind of fascinating on all those walks that we used to take, it was such a gradual process, but every time there would be a little more clear, your imagination would start to allow you to think what it was going to finally look like, right? For a whole hillside is suddenly clear. And if you keep walking that trail, you have these really unique vantage points, and you look back, and what was once a dark hillside full of thorns, now this beautiful prairie, you're like, wow, this is really amazing. So, and honestly, people, you got to understand, these are two people leading this, volunteering, and it's not on the sunny, pleasant days that they're out there. It's almost, I've seen it in rain, sleet, snow, ice storms out there. I do have to tell one story. When I was out walking and I was complimenting Carol and Wes, and I was on the nice bridge that y'all built right there by another road. And I said, these flowers, I said, what are you guys doing down there? Oh, Andy, we're collecting seeds for these beautiful flowers. Would you like some? Oh, yes, I'd love some. I'll continue my walk and I'll be back. And he said, we'll have seeds for you. So when I show up, Carol hands me a grocery sack. And it's filled with these crazy looking things. And I go, are those the seeds? Do I plant these? And she said, oh no, Andy, let me show you how you extract the seed from the pod. And I said, that wasn't what I signed up for. So I went home and sat on my back deck and broke open those pods and scraped those seeds out. It was a grocery bag full of pods, and I bragged back in an email that I got about 6 to 7 ounces of tiny little seeds in a measuring cup.
And you value those seeds now,
And
don't
I
you?
do. And I'm proud to say that I went out in my little natural area and I spread those around this fall. And we will see if I get the beautiful hibiscus flowers that we all enjoy down there. But
Just
that was
one more
my
plea.
indoctrination.
One more plea that we can all do that in our own yards in Lake County, and that really does help.
I am trying to set an example. I cut my buckthorn down on my property line and replanted it with all native plants and flowers and grasses, and had some consulting from these guys at CFC and other people, so everybody's been really helpful.
And you can apply for a buckthorn-free garden flag through your forest preserves. It's free, and it's a great incentive to your neighbors to join you.
Awesome.
Check that out
That's
on our
great.
website.
So again, thank you for all that you've done for the community. It's unbelievable, and we're just proud of you, and we're proud that we live in a community that values these natural resources the way that we do, and we're proud to be partnering with the Forest Preserve as well. So Unit 6. Would you like to set this up, and would you like to set Mr. Stewart?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. Mr. Lesueur had appeared before the Planning Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals at its January 8th meeting.
Why don't you come on up? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was just,
Come on up and join.
I was saying that was a beautiful thing what that guy was doing. I run that trail all the time.
Yeah, so I'm going to appreciate it. So
Yeah.
come on up and.
Sure. He was looking for a special use permit to allow for this fitness training facility. The Planning Commission Zoning Board of Appeals was in favor of the special use permit. One of the requirements in there was the fire sprinkler system, which Mr. Lesueur worked with an engineering firm, and we received a letter this afternoon indicating that his use does not require that, so that's good for everyone involved. And yeah, Brian, if you want to talk a little bit about your business and
Okay.
just introduce yourself to the board.
Yeah, how are you doing? I'm Brian Lesueur. I'm born and raised in Barrington. I was born in a Good Shepherd, so I'm all right with this area. I love this area. So it's a little bit about myself. I've been doing this for about 18 years now. I had a business in Lake Barrington. I had a business permit through you guys, what was it, 10 years ago today. So I'm really familiar with Lake Barrington. I worked over at Canyon Sportsplex. Got offered a job to do their sports performance over there. It was an opportunity of a lifetime, but things change, and I just wanted to go back to working on my own. So I work with a lot of awesome athletes, Lake Barrington athletes, Cole Komet, Lucas Maness, and then if you guys saw hockey, I worked with Lane Hudson, who won NHL Rookie of the Year last year, and his brothers are also play pro hockey as well. So there's a lot of cool athletes that will be coming through this facility. A lot of Barrington, Lake Barrington athletes, because I think they're all at Lake Barrington. So Hudson's on the Barrington rink. I'm going to be helping them out because they want to, expand a little bit. So I'm working with a bunch of their athletes that roll through the ice rink and a couple other local businesses as well. So like I said, this is my why. I love training. I've been doing it my whole life, or my whole adulthood, and I'm just lucky to do it in my hometown. I love it. I'm really thankful every opportunity I get to work with athletes. I don't work with just professional athletes. I work with youth athletes and kids that just want to make a team. So those are the athletes I really take pride in working with, especially it's really it's competitive. Barrington's very competitive sports. I'm sure you guys have kids go through Barrington, you know how it is. So I have a good relationship with high school, all the coaches, Coach Sanchez, soccer coaches, baseball coaches. So it's just a great opportunity for the community and for the kids to get better.
Great, thanks for sharing that. Do any of your trustees have any questions, comments for Mr. Lesueur?
Just the scope of what your facility will offer.
Oh, they'll offer speed and agility, strength training, typical sports performance. Yeah. Nothing crazy. We're not doing lasers. We're not doing this Western medicine stuff yet. The crazy stuff. So nothing fancy. Just old school. Let's get after it. Have a good environment. Get better.
Good. Other questions or comments?
I love your passion.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that you're going to be bringing that passion to younger people to help them feel that way too is important. So thank you.
Well, we are super excited to have you here. It's all been reviewed. You've gone through the process. We've reviewed it earlier tonight. And I'll pick on you a little bit. And maybe, the gentleman, Mr. Thompson, in the front row has gone through a similar process. And I would just say, Brian, how did you find this whole process? Did you find it enjoyable? Every aspect of it enjoyable?
It's been a process, but I understand why. I do. I get it. I mean, I'm sure Mrs. Harrington see me get a little upset. Like, I'm a pretty mellow guy, you know that. It's just, she's amazing, by the way. She's phenomenal. She's been unbelievable. Thank you so much for helping me get through this. I really appreciate it. I deeply do. The process is the process. I mean, it is what it is. It's like,
And I'm not intending to put you on the spot. I'm having a little bit of fun because it's the necessary evil to getting to the good stuff, which is getting you in business and getting you up and running. And it's the due diligence that's required to ensure that we're creating the right business in a safe environment and doing it the right way. So it can get a little onerous and tedious and feel a little heavy-handed, but we like to consider ourselves business friendly. excused because we have to do our due diligence, but we are welcoming you with open arms, and we're excited for you to be here. And I want to make sure that you understand our excitement for you to be here and with all the necessary stuff behind. We're here to wish you all the success in the world, and if we can help, if Rebecca can help, she's very hopeful. If anything, if you have questions or concerns about your business, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We want you to be successful.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
You bet. Thanks for showing up tonight and being with us. We appreciate it. If no other questions or comments, then Chair would like a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-0-01, ordinance approving a special use permit authorizing the establishment of a private athletic training facility by Brian LeSueur doing business as LeSueur Training Systems LLC on the property at 28147 West Commercial Avenue, Unit 6. Do I have a motion? Moved by Trustee Schaller. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Brainerd. Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brainerd.
Yes.
Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
Trustee Schaller.
Yes.
Trustee Schamloser.
Yes.
President Burke.
Yes, thank you very much. The ordinance is approved. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks again for being here, Brian.
I'll
Yep.
email you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Am I good?
You're good to go.
All right, thank you guys for everything.
Have a good rest of your night.
If you had anything to do with Baltimore, man, you did a good job.
Oh, I'm a Packers fan, so. Yeah, I didn't really say, I'll let you guys get to it. All right.
Good luck with that.
All right.
Okay, we're having fun now. B, consideration of an ordinance granting special use and variations for the property at 22375 and 22381 North Pepper Road, Lake Barrington, Illinois, R.D. Pepper Road Realty Company LLC, and Honey Lake B Company Inc. Did you have any setup, or Mr. Beckman, do you have any setup for this?
Well, it consists of both a special use, because the proposed building would be 11,000 square feet in size, as well as the variations. The variations are to allow beekeeping and an unlimited number of hives on the property. They'll be, I'll let the petitioner describe their business if they want to do that, but I think we all know a lot about it already. And it not only is it going to be the building of that size, and it's going to be a beekeeping business, and sales, but it's also going to be retail sales. Some will be honey products, but there will be other products as well, and that's why the ordinance is reflective of the fact that we are retail use. And I think we have we've reached consensus in terms of the form of ordinance that we looked at for the community as a whole, and we have a updated exhibit from the petitioner to reflect their site plan, and the variations that they will be receiving relative to the setback of the park for the parking from the north line of Pepper Road. And in addition, there will be variations relative to the setback of the two outbuildings that will be rehabbed and used for various functions by the petitioner. And because those are closer than they ordinarily would be to residential property. Ordinarily, if property is adjacent to a residential, they would have a 30-foot setback, but these have a much smaller setback because 4 to 5 feet, because they were built there by the original owners. I think that's pretty much covers that's the short version.
Yeah, that would definitely be the right version, short version. Mr. Thompson, would you please come to the podium? We're going to make you stand up there just like we made Mr. LeSueur stand up there. Yeah. No, sir. I think that those days are over, my friend. We're moving forward. As is customary, first, I'd like to see if you have anything to say to the board prior to us taking this to our board
excited to join Lake Barrington. Not that we don't like North Barrington, but we live in.
We like North Barrington.
We live in North Barrington. But, yeah, we're just very excited and thankful for everybody's help. It's been a process, but gotten through it, I hope.
Indeed. Any questions or comments for Mr. Thompson? Trustee Schaller?
No, I think we've learned an awful lot about beekeeping and what your objectives and ambitions are, and all I can say is go get them and be part of our community. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Trustee Hayes, any comments or questions for Mr. Thompson?
No, Brian, because I'm excited to get to this point. Patience is a virtue, right? And it's probably a little painful, but so much was thought through. I think it's going to allow you to be quicker and more successful in getting over. And I really look forward to seeing it when it's open. And I think it's going to be a good thing for you. So, good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Trustee Brandon?
Bring on the bees.
Thank you for that, and Trustee Shaw.
Thank you for your patience. We're so glad that you're part of our community. When do you envision opening?
We're hoping July, August. That's kind of our goal. Hope maybe before July, August, I think is a realistic point. Yeah.
And that would require breaking ground by when?
We hope
Tomorrow.
Yeah, he's been itching to go.
Should we come up with a show? Can I come up with my golden show?
Yeah, we'll as soon as we can.
Really?
So we're going to turn it around.
Okay, good.
Release the
Good.
get the building purpose next. So.
Well, who would believe that we would have a meeting tonight in which two people were here to talk about bees?
I know.
Not one, but two mentions of bees. I think we're going to become like the bee town. We may have to completely rebrand around this thing. You know, all it takes is, if you look at our logo, we have that beautiful cone flower. Maybe we just have a nice little in the middle of that thing. I better trademark that, right? No, we're thrilled, and just to reiterate what everybody's already said, we appreciate you that you chose us. We've always shared your vision. That's the perfect place for you to do what you want to do. The community is embracing this, and that's more important than just we represent the community, but this whole community is excited for what you're going to do. And it's so on brand with what we do that it's really exciting to have something like this come that's so on brand, that cements that we are an oasis of gracious countryside living, and we are very much about all things natural and open spaces and flora and fauna, and you really bring that home. So we appreciate your perseverance and all of you persevering together, and Mr. LaSousa, your due diligence with us and working with us in a professional manner. No great things get done without hard work and a little frustration and whatnot. So now I think we're on to the great things part. So, but our support of you doesn't end here. It just starts in a new way. So let's stay connected on this, and as we run into issues or challenges or questions where you believe the village can help, I know you won't hesitate to reach out and ask, because this staff is excited as we are as a board and prepared to help you however we can. So we wish you all the success in the world, and we look forward to this thing moving forward.
Yeah, thank you very much. You've been very, very helpful.
My pleasure. That's what we do. So thank you. So let's do the fun part. And if there are no other questions or comments, Chair would like a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-0-02, an ordinance granting special use and variations for the property located at 22375 and 22381 North Pepper Road, Lake Barrington, Illinois. Our Pepper Road Realty Company, LLC, and Honey Lake Bee Company. Do I have a motion, please?
I so move.
Moved by Trustee Brandon. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
A second by Trustee Shaw. So would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brandon?
Yes.
Trustee Hayes?
Yes.
Trustee Schaller?
Yes.
Trustee Shawmosser?
Yes.
Officer Grant?
Yes, thank you, and we're approved. Congratulations. Phew, we can all go home now.
Just a quick point of order.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson's signature on the ordinance, can I submit
does not need to be done tonight. You can send it in. Yep.
Thank you once again. Really
Yes.
appreciate all your help. It's been.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. And good luck with everything moving forward. Yes.
Thanks, have a good night.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Good night. Okay, next item, main consent agenda. Looks like we have about 3 items to take care of here on the consent agenda. Item A, consideration of ordinance regarding compensation of various appointed officials and or positions of employment of the village. B, consideration of an ordinance approving a new employment agreement with and establishing the compensation for the village administrator effective January 1. And C, consideration of construction engineering services agreement with Daywall Hamilton Associates Inc. of Vernon Hills, Illinois, in the amount of $69,315 for the 2026 roadway resurfacing program. We had ample discussion about that as committee of the whole. Are there any further questions or concerns that any trustees would like to raise at this point before we move on this section? If no, then Chair would like a motion to approve in block ordinance number 2026-0-03, ordinance regarding compensation of various appointed officers and or positions of employment of the village. B, motion to approve ordinance number 2026-0-04, an ordinance approving a new employment agreement with and establishing the compensation for the village administrator effective January 1, 2026. And C, motion to approve construction engineering services agreement with Daywall Hamilton Associates Inc. of Vernon Hills, Illinois, in the amount not to exceed $69,315 for the 2026 roadway resurfacing program, and authorize the village administrator to execute the necessary documents. Do I have such a motion, please? Moved by Trustee Schaller. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Schaller. Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
Trustee Schaller?
Yes.
Trustee Schauberger?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Trustee Hayes?
Oh, yes, Trustee Hayes.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, we keep forgetting about you since you're not here in person. Thank you. Just a couple of quick comments on a couple of these, particularly as it relates to staff compensation. Just a comment, you hear it a lot, but I want to hear it again on the record. We greatly value what you all do, and we try to show that to you in terms of compensation as well as our gratitude for the hard work that you all do. So thank you for that. All of this is very well deserved. And a special comment and shout out to our village administrator, Sharon Peterson, who has a new employment agreement that lasts coincidentally as long as my term does, which just so happens minimally. So we'll be together for the next few years, and I couldn't be prouder or happier to do so. So thank you very much for the work that you've done, and we look forward to continuing our working relationship together.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Next item would be the treasurer's report. Oh my gosh, I didn't see you over there.
I know, can you hear me okay?
Hello, treasurer.
So, I'm in my new chair, my new little spot. I'm happy to get to the podium if people think that's necessary.
It's not.
Okay, thank you, because I'm also happy to sit.
Yes, please.
Do I need to turn that off?
I don't think so, but I can just.
Well, it's probably not a bad idea, only because it kind of drains some of the sound away. Thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty, so we have the financial statements in front of you for the, well, first of all, I'll start out with just an update on our DECO grants. So I've talked about them periodically, and we don't really pick them into revenue until we actually receive the cash. So on January 2nd, 2026, we received almost $20,000. That's the third of the DECO grants, and that was for, believe it or not, an aerator in the Featherland Pond that was installed in 2022. The grant was awarded early 2024. So it's always a process, but I'm thrilled because now 3 of the 4 have been completed. We've received $158,000, and we've got one more of $27,000 $7,500 to collect on, so that's great stuff. So, going on to the financial statements, we have the financial statements for the 7 months ended November 30, 2025. And as we usually start, look at the flash report on page 2. We have assets of $4,118,000. Our liabilities are $442,000. That leaves us with equity of $3,676,000. Revenue for the 7 months is $2,876,000. Expenses, $2,164,000, leaving us with net income of $712,000. So this is compared to the same point last year where we had $192,000 in net income. But as we've done each month, we break out the sort of unusual items to compare what we'll call regular operation net income loss. And that is $1,054,000 this year versus $900,000 last year. So no news there. It's sales tax. That's our biggest difference. It's been tempered a little bit because at this point last year we had a large miscellaneous income number for the insurance proceeds received. So we would have a bigger difference if it wasn't for that, is what I'm trying to say. So that sales tax number keeps growing. You'll see when we get to the budget to actual report, we're at 100% of our budget only 7 months into our fiscal year. So I'm almost embarrassed by that, but I'm thrilled. But we had no idea that that change in the tax law on January 1st was going to really generate some of these new tax revenues for us. So we can then just, well, speaking of the budget to actual report, flip to page 1213, where we have that report. It's kind of a quiet month. There's nothing really exciting to mention. Our revenue is 70% actual budget, and that's really being pulled up by a couple of things. One being sales tax, that I just mentioned, but also our real estate tax, that's now 100% collected for the year. So we have 2 collections in the year, and we've fully collected that. So that pulls our numbers up, and then you can look at the differences between last year and this year. At this point last year, compared to last year for sales tax, we actually have $384,000 more than last year. So that's really where the differences are coming. Our use tax is down $77,000. We knew that was a trade-off. But clearly worth the trade-off between the two different types of the way the sales tax has been, out-of-state sales. So looking at the revenues, or looking at the expense side, our expenditures are running at 63% actual budget, a tiny bit higher than what you would think at 7 months in, but we do have a number of expenses that are paid for the year that pull that up a little bit. One number is interior building maintenance. We did a lot of work, we're enjoying that work year round. So that number is pulled up a little bit from the actual budget. Other than that, and the infrastructure fund, we have a transfer to the infrastructure fund of $300,000. That pulls us up as well. So nothing really else other ordinary to mention, but does anyone have any any questions on the general fund before I move on? Okay. So page 14, then we'll go to the motor fuel tax fund. You can see that fund is growing nicely. We're up to $592,000 in current assets. We still have about $100,000 to pay on the road work done this year. So you can see we can more than cover that bill. And then this will grow again for 2 years for our next road project. So that goes about $20,000 a month between the two, motor fuel tax fund and transportation renewal fund. Okay, and then moving on next, we're going to go to the water sewer fund. We have $1,654,000 in net current assets there. Our actual budget report shows really things we're trying to very close to budget, so no concerns, nothing of interest to mention in that fund as well this month. Lastly, the infrastructure fund has $270,000 of current assets in there, and that's for future infrastructure work. That's all I have in the financials. Any questions before I move to the warrants?
Questions for the treasurer? No questions.
Okay, the warrants, I just have one unusual one to mention. It's little on warrant A, and that's for the Cuba Township, $2,200. That is for the Union Pacific fee for the right-of-way. It's little, but it's something we don't usually see. That's for the work being done there at the tracks. And I do have to do a little audible here. Today when I was signing checks, we noticed a couple of differences between the actual checks and the warrants, so I need to change one of the numbers on warrant A. It's a little change. ComEd, the amount says $425.64. That included the past due balance, so we took that out of there, so which was already paid. It wasn't past due, it was a prior balance, but it had already been paid. So that amount is $203.56. The only thing that does is going to change the total for what you're approving for warrant A tonight. I'm going to give you that new total. That's $181,237.05. That's the change. That's the total for warrant A this evening for your approval. And then lastly, on warrant B, there's nothing unusual on there as well this month. However, we had one change. I'm embarrassed by this almost, but it doesn't usually happen. But we had one change, and that's M. Dolan, PC. She does the administrative adjudication hearings here at Village Hall. The invoice for the amount on the warrant says $202.50. It really should have been $157.50. It just changes the total you're approving tonight. And so the total for warrant B is $183,907.15. So I'm sorry to do that on the last minute. They are little small changes, but I want to make sure the correct amount is in for your approval tonight. But any questions on any of the warrants?
Questions?
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, Treasurer Burry. With that said, Chair would like a motion to approve in block A, financial statements dated November 30th, 2025. B, pay bills in the amount of $181,237.05 as listed on the accounts payable warrant A dated January 13th, 2026. And C, pay bills in the amount of $183,907.15 as listed on the accounts payable warrant B dated January 13th, 2026. Do I have a motion, please?
So
Moved by Trustee Brainerd, second.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Schaumoser. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Brainerd?
yes.
Trustee Hayes?
Yes.
Trustee Schauber?
Yes.
Trustee Schaumoser?
Yes.
President Burke?
Yes, thank you very much. Item 10 is the Administrator's Report. Sharon.
Thank you, President Burke. Just wanted to extend my thanks to all of you for signing my contract for the next 3.5 years. I look forward to working with everyone on a go-forward basis. And the other item I have to report this evening is we received notice this morning that ComEd and the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus is putting together a grant for energy effectiveness. So we will be looking to apply for a grant for an EV charging station at Village Hall. Our accountant and I are working on numbers for that to put in the budget, so that way we have a budget number for it, and when we apply for the grant, we can show that we do have funding available for it. The funding availability is up to $10,000 in grant funding. So those are due March 13th. So I will be working on that. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Other questions for the Administrator? If not, let's move on to the Clerk's Report. Rebecca.
Thank you. Just one item. Good news, we launched cloud permit software this week, or last week rather, the 7th. So we are sending notices to our businesses to get started on their licensing. I really like the platform. I think it's really a lot cleaner. It's got our logo on it. They're very easy to work with, so I look forward to using theirs.
Questions for the Clerk? And so far, so good?
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. All right, item 12 is the trustee reports, and we will start with radio communications. Trustee Van Ryan is not here tonight because she's in Florida, because she's having a grandbaby. So, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, so she called up this morning and said, I've got the call. My daughter's in labor, we're headed south. So, that's very exciting, and we're excited and happy for her. So next would be economic development, Trustee Hayes.
Yeah, maybe, President, when I was at a very major surgery on the 31st, and I can't afford to get sick, so letting go of mine worked out great. I'm grateful for that, but I'm really happy to see that $19 million members, so I'm grateful that that went down. But and also, in light of what the village made and should be successful. I do want to talk just for a moment about this contingency out of the planning matter first meeting with volunteers last month. It was recorded, Sharon does have the audio for that. It was just again every presentation about it went well. We're going to have a follow-up here early February for kind of kick off the planning effort. And there's some homework we gave volunteers out of the meeting that was kind of working on how to level set, kind of bring that up to a common level of understanding as it relates to how we're going this planning. So pretty good there. And Sharon's back down, President Murphy. We're going to get the consultant recovery and supervision that did the work for us and go through the proposal with them. So I'm going to get with Sheriff Barber and figure out what date we'll get on the phone and walk through the proposal now that I've had a chance, others have had a chance to digest this and just to make sure we are clear on what they presented to us. So that's all I have to say. Unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Rich. Are there questions for Trustee Hayes? Very good. Thank you for your help on those items, Trustee Hayes. Let's move on. External relations, that's me. I just have one comment, which is something I received an email on today, which I'm just reminding people of. It came from, I think, Brad Cole's office. But just reading this release and this analysis from Illinois Policy Institute. On January 2nd, Illinois Policy Institute released an analysis finding that the state's decision to reduce local government's share of net income tax revenues from 10% to less than 7% has cost municipalities more than $9.49 billion and counties nearly $1.44 billion since state fiscal year 2012. The analysis compares actual local government distributed fund, what we know as LGDF, revenues received by local governments, with what they would have received had the state maintained the 10% revenue sharing. Brad Cole's quoted in the analysis noting that the reduction in the state's revenue sharing commitments had a significant impact on local government budget, particularly for smaller municipalities. He emphasized that nearly half of Illinois' municipalities have, and I didn't say Illinois is wrong, that was the possessive Illinois, just for as soon as I said it, it sounded wrong, right? Illinois municipalities have fewer than 1,000 residents living in their tax and retail bases and reducing their ability to absorb revenue losses. More information about LGDF can be found. In fact, I sent you an email just when I read this today, and I don't know if we had ever calculated
I responded to you.
Oh, well, see, you're so far ahead of me.
Yeah.
Can you reiterate what you said to me about LGDF?
Yeah, so basically, when you Google chart it, went through the last 10 years, our number comes to $5,081,383. So basically, I took LGDF, I took it to different percentages each year, boosted it up, it should have been up to 10%, and yeah, so over that course of time, it's been $5,081,081. So there's a little chart in the thing I sent you. And they actually, I sent you, there's like an info-matic sheet that I think they call them matic, which is really quite interesting. But yeah, just basically what you said. So, yeah, so this past year alone, it's almost $500. And what I'm putting in air quotes, quotes, is the lost revenue.
Yeah, so just this year, previous year, you're saying, or projected year?
No, so I did fiscal year 12 through fiscal year 25, taking what we actually received for LGDF. And it's over those 10, 12 years, whatever, it's about $981. Each year it's about $5 million, or $500,000.
Each year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you're saying, the total is
Right, yeah, so I did.
Differential is almost $5 million.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, it's 14 years, sorry. It's 14 years.
Got it. Great, well, thank you.
But I did make a note on there at the very bottom of my email saying, well, one thing the state has done is this online sales tax, which is, for us, we make way more than the last $500,000 a year in those online sales tax.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, and thank you for saying that, because my even point for bringing this up, and my predecessor talked about this considerably, that we don't know where this is going. What we have heard, we are the nature people. Now I've got a ladybug crawling across the Just keep on going. But we don't know where that's going. It's our folks in Springfield will tell us it's not going to reverse course anytime soon. So could still continue to dwindle. And really the point is it reinforces all of our collective efforts in building a revenue, a tax revenue base here, and how important that is. And the work that Trustee Hayes is doing on economic development and all of that is critical, because for us to continue to maintain our budget and not raise property taxes, which we have not done for 6 years in a row as far as our part of that, that's what allows us to do that and continue to provide us the level of service that our residents come to enjoy. So I was simply noting
I
that.
just feel like my mic was off. Could everybody hear me what I was saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a significant impact to us, to the order of maybe $500,000.
Well, for this past fiscal year, it was $500,000.
Right. And so we're finding other ways to make up for that. That's all we can do. But it also means we have to continue to steel ourselves for the prospect that it could get worse. So in other words, the cavalry may not be coming, so we're here to save ourselves. And so I appreciate the collective effort of staff and the board to continue to work for ways to be both super cost effective and find ways to increase revenue so that we can keep doing what we're doing. So thank you for indulging me there for that moment, and thank you for being always 2 steps ahead of me. You were so fast that I didn't even know it was done from the time that I did it, so thank you. Next, Finance, Human Resources Administration, Trustee Shalom, sir.
Pretty quiet, we covered a lot of it already today, and we got contracts solidified with our administrator, and we'll be looking at the budget in the next few weeks. That's all.
Great, and thank you to you, Trustee Schallhauser, for the work that you did with staff this year and with the increases and all that. And you're doing the role, and you performed it admirably. You had a very good coach in Trustee Hayes.
Trustee Hayes did a wonderful job handing the torch to me.
Yes, he did.
So I appreciate his guidance on that as well.
And left us in a very fine spot for you to take over the ribbons. So thank you both very much for your help there. I hope Rich can hear me giving all these accolades out. Next is Roads and Infrastructure, Trustee Brainerd.
I too had an excellent coach to do the handoff, and we went ahead, as we discussed earlier in the other meeting, got together to discuss new roads for a new year, and it was good that we were able to come to some sort of agreement on being able to do heritage estates, because that's where you live, and we didn't want to leave the streets undone. But based on their condition, it is important that we stick with the whole plan that we have year by year. And we're going to be able to do that because even though in the enclave there are 2 new properties going in on Coyote Trail, they have already pulled their permits, but hopefully they will have everything in place by the time we are able to go ahead and start the road work more at the end of summer, early fall. So that is something to look forward to, and I look forward to learning more about asphalt.
As we all have at one point sitting in your seat. So thank you for that.
The most exciting part is the reclamation.
Yes.
Asphalt is reclamation.
Yes. Thank you. You are exactly right. Reclamite might have preceded my time in that chair over there, but I'm quite familiar with it now. I'm just so pleased that you all get excited about these things. So thank you for that. Moving right along, we're moving on to public safety. Trustee Shell.
Thank you, President Burke. Lake County Sheriff's Department, President Burke and myself were privileged to be part of our former liaison, Lieutenant Scott Kirk's retirement last week up at the center for where all the Sheriff's Department people go. I've never felt safer in my life. We were there, and there must have been 35, 40 deputies in that room and surrounded by, and the sheriff was there. But Sergeant Henry, so we lost our liaison. We thought we had a liaison, but you can explain to us what the process is now undertaking, sir.
I was recently informed that with the movements of some retirements and then promotions, I'll be removed from midnight shift. I'll be transferred into the court security division where I worked for 9 years prior. So effective January 21st, I will be leaving midnights. And part of that, we'll have a new Sergeant Tom Zwoyski being promoted from our training division, very solid deputy, soon to be sergeant. He'll be taking over Lake and North Barrington contracts. I will bring him in on the February 3rd meeting, introduce him, and get everything started with him, just as Scott introduced me to the board here.
Sure.
It's been an honor to be here. It's beautiful to see how this community thrives. I also do the beach park contract, and the contrast, the similarity between the distances close to the lake, further from the lake, but they all have the same goal. It's for the betterment of other communities. So it's been an honor to be here for the short time that I've been here.
Well, we've appreciated getting to know you in a short time. We're a little disappointed we're going to move you so fast, but it's an opportunity for you, right? You know, we were with Lieutenant Kirk for a long time and we built a nice working relationship and bond. But, you know, the truth of the matter is everybody in your organization is stand up and strong and we're confident.
Appreciate that.
You know, like I had a chance to talk to Chris Covelli a little bit. He had told us that there were some changes coming and that he owed us some permanent liaison. So he foretold of this. Plus, he's changed.
Yep.
Back, he's into patrol now.
He is now deputy chief of highway patrol.
Correct. So he's now back in there, and so a lot of changes.
Yeah, with all those changes, that brings a lot amongst, it's got to trickle down.
It has to trickle down, but he will remain but he'll remain in his communications role, his, you know, public-facing role as well as he does that. So we aren't losing him at all, but we appreciate everything that you guys do. We have a great relationship. I did bump into the sheriff at Scott's thing, and he was very funny because I was running late because I went to the wrong place. And I went all the way to Waukegan.
Oh.
Yes.
They put him in jail.
And they said, they kept asking me if I was there to see an inmate. And I said, well, I don't know if Scott done something wrong. So I turned around and wrote, and I texted the sheriff, and I said, oh my gosh, John, I just screwed up. I just went to the wrong place, but I will be there. And as I'm running in, I was voted over. And the place was mobbed with all you guys lining the hallways, and he looks at me and he looks at them and he goes, come on, I'll get you in. And we ran the gauntlet down the hallway, clearing everybody out of the way so I could squeeze into that very crowded room for Scott. So it was really nice to be there, but I like to see all the camaraderie that was there. It was special, obviously, for Scott and his family was all there, but it was just kind of nice to see how happy everybody is. You know, that's ultimately he did a great job and served in that position very, very well for the community. And now he's, you know, I asked him what he was going to go do. And I said, figure something out before your wife decides for you what you're going to go do. So,
Work out.
yeah, he's going to work it out. But thank you. We've enjoyed the time. Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you next month so that you can introduce this new person to us.
And then in the last,
What's going on?
Yep.
there has been too much craziness in the village. We did have one accident where off of East Bridgewater, right off of Kelsey. The car went off the road and ended up struck the house, but basically just rusted up at the house. That gentleman made some poor decisions that night, and he has to deal with that part. A couple of small domestics during the holidays, and then recently at Camden Sports Complex, there was a battery. Some either not happy with the game going on, or what the game Bears versus Packers game. I don't recall that turned out, but I know there was an arrest made due to a battery that happened inside the complex. But it's very, very rare to happen.
Disgruntled Packer fan, probably.
That's very, very disappointing to hear, but it happens.
It was handled swiftly. The staff there was amazing with us. They were all cooperative. Everything worked out great. Statements, victims, and whatever they needed were taken care of. But that's up to us to have. You know, the weather's been decent.
Appreciate it.
So everything is well.
Thank you very kindly.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for your service, as always. We appreciate you very much.
Also in the back of the room, thanks to Chief Montesi. Come on up and for the Barrington Countryside Fire Protection District. Their meetings go about a half hour. This one went a little longer, so we appreciate your patience, sir. What's happening with
good evening, everyone. Always an honor and privilege to stand here before each and every one of you. Short introduction for those that don't know, my name is Scott Matisi. I'm the Fire EMS Chief in the Barrington Countryside Fire Protection District. Proudly served the Barrington area for over 23 years now. 2025 was a great year for the district. We see continued growth in our organization and our personal and professional development of our members. We currently stand fully staffed, except for one member who is currently fighting cancer at this time. But we stand behind him strongly as he fights multiple myeloma. We have grown in different areas, including our cadet program has doubled in size from 2025 to 2026, which we are really proud of, and our military apprentice program continues to bring in candidates not only for our organization, but for area fire departments as well, that can utilize these members to enhance their staffing as well. It's always an honor and privilege to work with Sharon and Rebecca when we do our fire prevention activities and our bureau work, so it's always a pleasure to work with them. We continue to have a balanced budget. We have no intention at this time of doing any increases as far as tax levies and the like as well, so we see that as well. We absolutely do see pension pressure coming on the horizon for our organization, but we are planning accordingly and really see no concerns at this time regarding that as well. If there are no other questions, I will be here, but if any questions, I'll be happy.
Just how compared to the way the department was before when you contracted out, compared to now having staff as part of the department, obviously there was always a problem getting vacancies full, and I'm happy to hear that you're up to the full staff.
Yeah. I've served Barrington Countryside Fire Protection District since its first day, and between the first 9 years, I did 197 exit interviews in 9 years. From the time that I have taken over as Fire EMS Chief, and we have done independent member operations. At this time, I have done a total of 6 exit interviews in less than 3 years.
Wow. Speaks for itself. Also, I want to thank you and Rebecca and Sharon for working with the village on the fire prevention, inspection, and permitting process. We appreciate your cooperation with that.
I think the intergovernmental agreement that was presented and signed and ratified by both our humble organizations and administrations absolutely solidifies what type of working relationship we have and for the future as well. So I think that is a document that is going to really help out the village of Lake Barrington and also the Barrington Countryside Fire Protection District as far as expectations as well. So it's our honor and privilege to serve your residents in the roles that we do.
Well, we appreciate your ongoing protection of us as well as all the other cooperation you bring to us. So,
thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Excellent.
Thank you. And that, obviously, in my report, the Wakanda Fire District, same thing. We signed that intergovernmental agreement with them as well. Their involvement with permits is a lot smaller, only really involves the marketplace. So, but I think we're fortunate, the Sheriff's Department and our fire departments, with the village of Lake Barrington, and our gratitude. So thank you. End of my report.
That's very well said. Oh, go ahead, Rich. Trustee Haney.
memory goes when you get older.
As long as you've been a trustee?
No, it's been more recent than that, huh?
Did you ever do roads?
No, I never did rip one.
I guess he got to go right past that.
Maybe I have to get into roads, pave me over.
Well, we do appreciate it. We know
I've enjoyed the public safety.
I know you have, you're passionate about it.
The departments we work with are phenomenal. And as I said, a small village like this that has those services provided to us in such a manner that they are, compared to, larger municipalities that have their own police department, their own fire departments, basically. And just as Chief Motisi said, pensions. I mean, that's a thing that you've got to face, and so is the sheriff's department. That is part of what we get for it, but it's not something this village has to be concerned with. That's a big concern moving forward. And pensions are important to all those departments. And when we look at Lieutenant Curry, he was with them 28 years. But like the fire department, they put their lives on the line every day. And the relief that sometimes comes, you want to do it, but the relief that comes when in fact you don't have to deal with that when you get up in the morning, it's got to be tremendous for these guys. So, and women. There were a lot of women in that department too, keeping us safe when we were up there. There were. So again, our gratitude, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Chow. Okay, there should be no open space or special events report, is there? No. So we'll move on. There is no old business, there are no resolutions, there is no new business. So this is the opportunity for the public to address the village board on non-agenda items, and I see a colleague of mine who's been waiting so patiently out there, Eleanor Sweet McDonald is here, and we welcome you to our house and our meeting, and it's my understanding that you're here as a citizen, as a resident, as anything but the mayor tonight. So please, what's on your mind tonight? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and thank you for your service. Yes, I am specifically here as a resident only. A resident of Cuba Township. So I've been a resident for Cuba Township for quite a while. I'm here to tell you that I filed papers yesterday to run as a write-in candidate for the Lake County Board District 17. So, for some of you that may not be as familiar with me, I've lived in the community for a while. I have a daughter actually that's getting her master's from Northwestern and graduating in June. I have a son that's graduating from college this coming June. And I've been blessed from both my parents to genetically have a lot of energy. I do not drink coffee, believe it or not. I'm just blessed with this energy. And part of my energy is I love helping others. I have my own business. I've been a business owner since 1987, B2B business services. But I also like to give back to the community. It just kind of helps me on the whole energy thing. Some of you may know that I was involved in American Cancer for 8 years, raising $1.8 million. I also was in the initial group of us for the Barrington High School Incubator Program, which I did for approximately 4 to 5 years prior to stepping down with some other things that I got involved in the community. So relative to running for the Lake County Board District 17 position, I'm running because I'm the most qualified candidate, without a doubt, okay? And so there's some other people running for the position, and I respect that. But relative to our community, I feel that I need to come forward to represent the residents because I am the best person. I've been involved with some people in the county that we will discuss in that capacity, and I have been building alliances, okay? I understand that sometimes government can be very challenging, but I will tell you that I know that, okay? I know that I'm going into possibly a very difficult situation, but I want to work with people with kindness, dignity, and respect, and see if there's some ways for our area, District 17, which I think could be better served than perhaps it has in the past, waving the flag, and trying to find small little pieces in an ordinance or resolution that maybe would really benefit our residents, okay? So the other situation, as you may not know, is I'm a second-generation immigrant Slovak, okay? I spent 50% of my life on a farm. In that farm, to be honest, one of the issues I'm running for on my platform is to protect natural resources, okay? And in this area, I understand and respect that we're very sensitive to density issues. I grew up every spring planting, literally, believe it or not, 500 to 1,000 trees in the back to reforest our woods, that when we purchased them for the farm for my family had been stripped from all the wood for paper. I'm also running on because I have a background, which I can't really get into tonight, but please feel free to go to my website, which is elnorsweetmcdonald.com. You will see that I have been a champion, particularly for our people, of public service and safety, okay? Safety to me is one of our most important things and sacred things. Also, on a personal note, I will share with you that I've been on the journey with American Cancer for 8 years, but I've also am a caregiver for a husband that is now 4 years cancer-free. So I've walked in the shoes. I also have a friend that has been diagnosed with a very deadly disease. And so one of the things I want to make sure is on the county side, particularly District 17, are we being sensitive and are we really reaching out? Just like, frankly, I'm a big advocate of the mental health area. So it is an area that I really want to go in. I'm hoping that they're taking care of things, but to be honest, I'm the type of gal that really likes to get into the weeds and make sure things are being taken care of. I will be honest with you and tell you I need to, in the next 7 days, go in and look at the budget. I'm a fiscally conservative person. I've had a fiscally conservative business since 1987. And sometimes you can find little areas that we can be operating a little more efficiently and maybe saving situations. I'm very mindful of protecting and guarding the taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. And so these are some of the things I'm going to run on in terms of being an advocate for our area. If there are other things down the road that you obviously want to share with me that you think we could be doing better for our area in terms of our relationship with the county, I want you to know I'm a 24/7 gal. You can reach me from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 at night. There again, most of you or some of you are aware when you go to the website, you will find my email, you will find my phone number. But I don't think at the county level at this point, and oh, by the way, for the record, let me say, I have no offense to our attorney, Mr. Bateman, I am not a lawyer, okay? But I am a woman with a true passion, genuine passion to serve. My personal business will not be benefiting by me running for this position. Let there be no confusion. I'm running for the heart and the soul of the residents of our area to serve them. And I'll do the best job I can for you. We don't need someone in training wheels trying to figure things out up there at the county board. It's a very complex situation on a number of fronts. My mother's from New York, I tell it like it is. I will always treat people up there and everywhere with professional respect. I'm not going to be losing my cool or anything. But I will keep going and I will keep going and I will keep asking and I will keep asking for a reach for District 17. I will not take a no. I will go back and try and re-wordsmith something that will better serve our residents. I may not succeed all the time. I may probably not have the level of success that I've had in our general Barrington area. I realistically know that. But I have a passion to serve. I'm running for 6 years. It's a 2 and a 4. I can't find the bathroom basically for 2 years and really get any momentum going on improving the liaisons and the relationships I have up there now. So I'm terming out at 6 years. I want you all to know that now. So do not come back and ask me to serve after the 6 years. I'm committed to fully serve you for 6 years. And I think that that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I'll stop because you can see I'm very passionate and I could talk all night about this. But I want to thank you also for your service. And I'm going to go forward on the journey. Early voting starts on March 2nd. The actual day of voting is St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. And the ballots will start dropping on the 5th of February. So thank you again for your time and thank you for your service. God bless.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out to our meeting tonight, Eleanor. It's good to see you.
Yep.
Okay,